What's up, guys? It's kuhhhdark. It's the guy who brought you the AMD tweaks, which talked about switching cores to pin to the game that would help get stable FPS back. I know Witty made a video explaining the method. It's great to see people taking the game competitively and going out of their way to find ways to fix it. AMD wasn't a thing yet, so this game naturally runs more stable on Intel. However, performance-wise, they're very similar these days. I was a competitive FPS player, mainly in Siege, which since is on a modern system and netcode, hardware and ping mattered a lot for performance and reliability. Someone with a 60Hz monitor and an 8-year-old GPU was going to have a major disadvantage against someone with a modern setup. However, in this game, that does not matter near as much, as it is built around a system called deterministic lockstep. The game has a hidden timer, which is called the tick, and after this video, I hope people leave more educated on how things work in Warcraft 3. Shout out to Spike Reed for helping me in CGs, and I'd like to give a huge shout out to Faro, the guy who's behind the servers these days on W3C Champions. To understand why Warcraft 3 feels the way it does, you gotta go back to 2002. Blizzard was building for dial-up and early DSL. Modern netcode would have been expensive and bandwidth hungry, and honestly just didn't even exist. So they chose deterministic lockstep. Send tiny input commands, let every PC simulate the same result locally, and keep everyone in sync. That's where the tick, the 33.3 millisecond interval, comes in, roughly 30 ticks per second. It was a trade-off that made sense in 2002. Fast enough to feel playable for an RTS, slow enough that modems to keep up without desyncing. At each tick, the engine asks, do we got commands for everyone? If yes, advance. If not, everyone waits. That design is what makes Warcraft 3 so different from modern games. There's no server smoothing things out in real time. Your machine and your opponent's machine are literally locked in lockstep. It's fair because everyone sees the same, but it comes at a cost. If one player's internet is slow, the entire game has to stall to that pace. To understand exactly what I mean by that, we need to look at how ping is shared between players and how the tick timing layers on top. So to start, we need to understand two things: local feel versus shared feel. To keep things more simple, think of local feel as how your own commands respond. You're acting, not reacting. Shared feel is when you and your opponent notice each other's moves. That's the crazy thing about lockstep. It keeps both players synced on what each other see and do, but your local control is still tied to your own ping. If your ping is 60, your units respond in about 60 to 93 ping, depending on where the command lands in the tick. Remember, the tick is 33.3. If your opponent is on 120, their units respond at 120 to 153 ms. But when it comes to noticing each other's actions, the math is completely different. The game takes half your ping and half their ping, then adds the tick. So with 60 versus 120, that's 90 to 123 ms for shared feel. The difference only shows up in how responsive your local feel is. Lockstep keeps both players synced at 90 to 123 ms, but offensively, Lockstep sometimes flips that. If I'm on 120 and I cast a coil, I don't see it until 120 to 153 ms, but my opponent on 60 doesn't see it until the shared 90 to 103 ms. That can shave down their reaction time. So high ping players get punished on micro, but they can sneak in offensive moves that feel harder to counter for the low ping player. Same with shop fights. If you both go for an invul, both inputs 90 to 123 ms window. So a 120 ping player can still win that grab if their command lands up first in the subtick. Call it luck or call it skill. If the high ping wins that invul grab, we'll call it luck because the game gave that guy a chance because the game is bad. I'm just kidding. Low ping doesn't give you more time to react. It makes your response land quicker once you do. Shared feel is the real pace of the game. It's the delay both players wait before they can see each other's actions. Very simple way of trying to explain a very complicated topic. I plan on making another video, but until then, thanks for watching.